Thank you, John. So I'm Jamie Bates, and I'm with the Wastewater Management Program, and I'm going to talk to you about the Lotus Blossom, as John just suggested. Next slide, please. So what is it? The Lotus Blossom is an innovative group brainstorming tool that creates a platform for blooming ideas and solutions. If I can pull your attention to the Lotus Blossom on the left side of the screen, as you can tell, there's like layers of petals. And so like those petals can be kind of thought of as ideas. So through using this tool, you'll get layers of a series of ideas. This tool is fully explores one main concept before moving to other themes, ideas, concepts, or other problems, which is really great for dealing with like multifaceted problems. John, can you go to the next slide? So this is what it looks like. We have like this Excel spreadsheet template that seems to work really well with this tool because you can just share one screen and it's easy to like code the cells to have like where you fill in the idea for the box 1 in the center below the start here section, and it can populate into the group 1 box. So you start off with a how might we question, and then you think about ideas or concepts to kind of go around that the central theme and concept, and those pre-populate into those blooming idea sections. And I'll get more into this a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you guys what it's like first. Next slide, please. So when to use it. To tackle multifaceted problems, when some issues seem to be like too big or you have no idea how to tackle them, this is a great tool to just like jump in with a group of people and just work through it. You can cover a lot of ground with this brainstorming tool. And it's really easy to share in a virtual setting because you just have to share one screen. One person would be like, taking the wheel and typing the ideas out and scribing for everybody. But it's a great tool to just have over like a virtual Teams meeting, and you can get a lot of work done in that time frame. Next slide, please, John. How to utilize it. So you would want to host a group virtual brainstorm and screen share the template. You would work with the group to form a how might we question to define a central theme or problem that the group is tackling or needs to tackle. You would then brainstorm 8 key ideas to fill in the spaces around the central problem or central theme question. And these ideas become new themes. So like the 8 key ideas will become new themes for step 4, which is like, then you would focus on the key ideas to repeat step 3 before moving on to the next idea. And for this step, not all 8 spaces need to be filled. It's just all a part of the process to generate blooming ideas. And with this step 2, it's important to like check in with your group members to make sure everybody's being heard, because it is like an in the moment kind of thing, and it's not as flexible as Brainwrite to allow those that are pretty quiet to speak up during these meetings, but it is like it provides a pretty open space for those group brainstorming activities. And so then you would repeat steps 3 and 4 for each theme identified during the brainstorm. Next slide, please, John. And so I'll show you, I'll share my screen and show you the tool. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So I'll first show you the template. So you start with the how might we question, and then you create an idea. So it's like if you like, I don't, oh, this one's not coded. I thought I was really exciting there. Sorry about that. I'll just go into showing the example then. So I'm a member of the EJ DEC team, so Environmental Justice DEC team, and we used this Lotus Blossom diagram to help us kind of gain a direction into how might we use data to keep EJ at the forefront of our work at DEC. And so we came up with some key concepts and ideas that we thought was very central to answering this how might we question, and that could contribute to helping us keep EJ at the forefront of our work. So we came up with like maintain and update demographic data, develop interactive public-facing tool, program level environmental justice at DEC, accountability and consistency and transparency when approaching environmental justice, and also like data management, ongoing outreach and engagement, criteria or indicators for rural areas, regular community qualitative data and participatory. And so as you could see, we really dove into the maintain, update environmental data. So a preface that I feel like I should have included is that this group is specifically tasked with working on the mapping aspect for DEC for environmental justice. And so this was like a really key interest for us during that meeting. And we only had about like 30 minutes to kind of go through this exercise. And this is something that we plan on picking up again. So it's not that we didn't consider these things, it's just kind of like we got to hear and kind of realized that identified a major problem and we're moving forward with those ideas. So maintaining and updating environmental data. We identified that a lot of states have like division and program data stewards, and that other states have data tools and resources as well as like other programs in DC and also departments. So where we kind of ended up was we didn't have a good idea of how data is managed and maintained at the state to know like what tools are really available to us to move forward with this mapping tool. So this evolved to us identifying that we need to figure out a way to ask and find a way to then begin tracking this and identify like what is applicable to include or what would be good to include in an EJ mapping tool. So I hope that was clear. And if anybody has questions, please chime in.
I'm not seeing any questions. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
No, I was just saying, John, you were on mute. I was seeing you talk. Sorry.
Yeah. So if you are interested in using the template that Jamie showed is one that I built that automatically grabs that central information. It's a really, really great tool because the little boxes are basically at the same dimensions as the screen. So you can zoom way in and so that everyone can see what you're doing. And it's been a really great tool for brainstorming because it doesn't allow you to dwell too deeply on any one particular branch. So you can move through stuff. And it's really great too, because sometimes we stop so superficially with some of our ideas. Like we asked that how might we question up the front, and you might get a lot of ideas, but those ideas might be so big or so broad in their scope that you don't really. It's an idea, but there are reflections of those ideas. This is a tool to really dig in to those and break them into their constituent parts and find the core of more applicable ideas. And maybe you end up doing every piece of those ideas around those central cores, but you really get to explore them and highlight the various aspects of it in a way that you don't get to do with traditional brainstorming, which is one of the things that I really love about the tool. And I want to thank Jamie so much for presenting it. Do we have any final questions either on this or anything else?
Not a question, just a comment of I appreciated that this one can be used over a period of time. Like you said, you identified one challenge that was pretty major and it felt like it was urgent to just like stop and deal with that. And then you still have this tool that memorializes all the brainstorming you've done and you can add to it or go back to it once you've cleared that first hurdle.
Yeah, it's really great because you can see the progress you're making through it, right? You can see that there's still some area to go.
Yeah, it's kind of like a smush between like a fishbone, like a root cause analysis with some brainstorming built in.
Yeah, and it is. You can also use it for that. You might change the how might we question to answering a different question, one that is a problem to pose, and it can function a lot like a fishbone or Ishikawa diagram if you're familiar with the parlance. All right. Last moment for any additional questions. Okay. I want to thank you all for attending this, the second of our Tool-torials training series. We'll be doing this again tomorrow at 8:30, and I think we're doing brainstorming again. So, but it is a different set of tools. Justin's highlighting the variety of tools available. All right, so thank you all for your participation today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.